Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive. This time into something I think a lot of us can relate to, ambition burnout,
Hmm.
and what happens when things don't exactly go according to plan.
Yeah.
We all have these big dreams and goals, and there's this fire in our belly,
Yeah.
that drives us forward. But what happens when that drive kind of turns into this all-consuming force,
Hmm.
and maybe it doesn't actually lead you to where you thought it would?
You're hitting on a really, really important point.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us, our culture really glorifies the hustle, right?
Yeah.
You've got to be grinding 24/7 to get to success.
Right.
But that pursuit, relentlessly chasing ambition, it can come at a real cost.
Yeah.
It can lead to burnout, neglecting your well-being, your relationships, even your own happiness for the sake of some external goal that you're going after.
It's like we're conditioned to think that we have to just constantly strive and never be satisfied,
Right.
always pushing for more. I've definitely fallen into that trap myself, and I know a lot of you listening probably have too. But what happens when you give it your all and it still doesn't work out?
Yeah.
When the sacrifices that you've made don't lead to those results that you expected?
That's when it can really feel like the rug is pulled out from under you.
Mm-hmm.
You're not only grappling with the disappointment of failure, but also this sense of emptiness,
Right.
like questioning everything that you've poured your energy into. And it can be especially tough because we often tie our identity to
Yeah.
those achievements.
Almost like an identity crisis.
Yeah.
I remember a time when I was so invested in a project, and when it failed, it was like I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror. I
Wow.
felt like I'd let everyone down, but mostly myself.
Mm.
And that feeling of failure was so heavy, it was like I had lost a part of who I thought I was.
That's a really powerful image, and it speaks to the profound emotional impact I think that failure can have.
Mm.
It's not just about the setbacks practically, but that blow, it deals to your self-worth,
Right.
your belief in yourself and your abilities. And you start to question everything, your judgment, your choices, even your place in the world.
And it's not just that internal struggle, right?
Right.
There's this ripple effect that kind of goes out to other areas of your life, the relationships that maybe you neglected or the health issues
Yeah.
that might surface from just chronic stress,
Mm-hmm.
maybe even financial strain from pouring all your resources into something that didn't actually work out.
Absolutely. It's like the cost of ambition gone wrong can spread outwards, impacting every single aspect of your life.
Yeah.
And facing that fallout when you're already feeling vulnerable and defeated can be incredibly daunting.
So if you find yourself in this situation, right, where
Yeah.
you've kind of hit rock bottom and you're feeling lost,
Hmm.
where do you even begin to pick yourself back up?
Well, I think the first and most important step is to actually acknowledge the pain.
Yeah.
Don't try to bury it or pretend that it's not there.
Mm.
Allow yourself to grieve that loss, to feel the disappointment, the anger, the sadness.
Mm.
Bottling up those emotions will only make them fester and really hold you back from healing.
So it's about being honest with yourself about how you're feeling
Yeah.
instead of slapping on a brave face and pretending everything is fine.
Yeah.
Because let's be real, those coping mechanisms only work for so long before they start to crack.
Exactly. Give yourself permission to be human,
Yeah.
to feel the full range of emotions that come with those setbacks, those disappointments.
Mm.
And remember, it's okay to not be okay. It's from that point of vulnerability that true growth and resilience can emerge.
I love that.
And once you've acknowledged those feelings, you can start to maybe shift your perspective a little bit.
Okay.
Instead of looking at failure as this definitive end,
Right.
try to see it as feedback, like it's a sign that something wasn't working, maybe the path was off or your approach needed some adjusting.
So it's about reframing the experience,
Yeah.
kind of looking at it from a different angle,
Yeah.
asking yourself, what can I learn from this?
Yeah.
Instead of dwelling on all the negative stuff,
Mm-hmm.
try to extract some of those lessons that are kind of hidden within the failure.
Precisely. And, even though the outcome wasn't what you wanted, you've undoubtedly gained some experience and some insights along the way.
Right.
And those are going to be so useful as you move forward, for instance. Let's say you poured your heart into a business
Yeah.
and it failed.
Mm-hmm.
Ask yourself, well, what did I learn about myself? What did I learn about running a business? What skills did I develop?
That's a great way to look at it.
Yeah.
It's about finding those silver linings, even amidst all the disappointment.
Yeah.
But I imagine it can be hard to shift gears like that,
Yeah.
especially when you're feeling discouraged and unsure of what's next.
It definitely takes time and effort,
Yeah.
and that's where rebuilding comes in.
Right.
Not going back to how things were, but creating something new. Something that's more aligned with your true values and priorities. And that starts with redefining what success actually means to you.
I think a lot of us get caught in that trap of measuring our worth
Yeah,
by these external markers,
right.
like money, job titles, or even social media followers.
Totally.
But those things don't always equal true fulfillment, do they?
They don't. True success, that lasting fulfillment, it comes from aligning your life with what really matters to you.
Yeah.
And that's going to require some introspection.
Yeah.
What brings you joy? What makes you feel alive? What impact do you want to have on the world?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe success for you is about strong relationships or creative expression or, contributing to your community.
So it's about stripping away all those external expectations
Yeah.
and getting back to the core of what makes you tick.
Yeah.
Recognizing that success isn't one size fits all.
Mm-hmm.
It's about creating a life that feels authentically good for you.
Exactly. And that journey of rebuilding it requires a good dose of self-compassion. When you've poured everything into something and it doesn't work out,
Yeah.
it's natural to feel disappointed, maybe even a little ashamed. That inner critic starts piping up saying, you should have done better, or you're not good enough.
Oh, we've all been there.
Yeah,
That voice can be so brutal,
it can.
especially when you're already feeling vulnerable.
Yeah.
So how do we quiet that critic and cultivate more self-compassion?
Well, it's about treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a dear friend, Instead of berating yourself for mistakes, recognize that you did the best that you could with what you had at the time.
Right.
Remember, everyone makes mistakes. Failure isn't a sign of weakness.
Yeah.
It's a natural part of learning.
It's how you learn and grow.
It's what you do with those experiences that really defines you.
That makes a lot of sense. And sometimes the best thing you can do is just reach out for support.
Yeah.
Talk to a therapist, a mentor, a trusted friend.
Yeah.
That can really help you process those difficult emotions and gain some clarity
Absolutely.
on your path forward.
Don't be afraid to seek help. We're not meant to go through this alone.
Yeah.
Having someone to listen to, validate your feelings, and offer a fresh perspective can be incredibly helpful. And don't underestimate the power of community,
Right.
Surround yourself with people who lift you up, inspire you, and believe in you. That can be so healing and motivating.
Finding your tribe,
Yeah.
those people who get it,
Yeah.
who understand the struggles and the triumphs, is so valuable.
It is.
It reminds you that you're not alone in this journey.
We are social creatures. We're wired for connection
Yeah.
and belonging, and that support, it becomes even more vital during those challenging times.
Right.
It's about rediscovering those connections, both with yourself and with others.
Yeah.
And remembering that you're worthy of love and support.
So much of this process is about coming back to ourselves,
Yeah.
recognizing our inherent worth, understanding that we have the power
Yes.
to create a life that feels good on every level, regardless of those external achievements.
And recognizing that true strength comes not from pushing through the pain alone,
Yeah.
but from embracing that vulnerability, seeking help when you need it, and allowing yourself to be fully human.
That's a message I think we all need to hear.
Yeah.
It's a powerful message of hope, resilience,
Mm-hmm.
and the potential for incredible growth that exists even in the face of adversity.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that sometimes the other side of a setback, it looks very different from the life we originally planned.
Yeah.
It might be quieter, more focused on simple joys and genuine connection. And maybe that's where true happiness lies.
It's like letting go of all those rigid expectations that we've placed on ourselves.
Yeah.
Opening up space for something new and unexpected.
You put it perfectly. It's in those moments of surrender, of letting go, that we often discover the most beautiful and unexpected paths.
It's about embracing the full spectrum of human experience.
So,
The good, the bad, and everything in between. Remembering that we always have the power to choose how we respond, how we grow, and how we create a life that feels meaningful and fulfilling.
well said. It's about understanding that this journey of rebuilding, redefining success and reclaiming your life,
Yeah.
it's a process. It's not a destination. It's a continual evolution.
Right.
There'll be ups and downs, twists and turns, moments of doubt, and moments of incredible clarity.
Of course.
But the important thing is to just keep moving forward one step at a time
Yeah.
with compassion, courage, and a belief in your own ability to create a life that truly lights you up.
And to celebrate those small wins along the way.
Yes,
Every step you take, every challenge you overcome, every act of self-care and self-love
absolutely.
is a victory worth celebrating.
It's about recognizing those small wins and remembering that you are making progress, even when it feels slow or challenging.
We've been having such an incredible conversation about ambition and burnout and this whole process of rebuilding. And in this final segment, I really want to focus on the power of choice, that sense of agency that we have to shape our own path, even when life throws us those curveballs.
That sense of agency is so important. It's about recognizing that even when things feel chaotic or out of control, we still have the power to choose how we respond, how we interpret the situation, and ultimately what actions we take.
It reminds me of that Viktor Frankl quote, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom.
It's such a powerful quote, isn't it? It really captures the essence of it. Even in the most difficult circumstances, we have that ability to choose our mindset, our attitude, and ultimately our actions. We can be victims of our circumstances, or we can choose to become the architects of our own destiny.
And that choice, that act of choosing, is where our true power lies. It's about taking ownership of our lives, our happiness, and creating a future that truly reflects our deepest values.
It's about understanding that we are not defined by our past mistakes or failures or setbacks. We're defined by how we choose to move forward, by the lessons that we learn, and how we use those experiences to create a better future, both for ourselves and for
I
others.
love that.
Yeah.
It's like we're reclaiming our narrative, rewriting the story we tell ourselves about who we are and what we're capable of.
Hmm?
And maybe, just maybe, those experiences that felt like failures were actually blessings in disguise,
Hmm.
leading us to a past that is even more fulfilling than we could have ever imagined.
Sometimes that new path requires us to let go of those old beliefs, old habits, old ways of being. It might mean stepping outside of our comfort zone, challenging those assumptions, and embracing the unknown.
But it's often in those moments of uncertainty, of stepping into the unknown, that we truly discover who we are and what we're made of. That's where the magic happens, where we
Right.
find the courage to build a life that is authentic and meaningful and aligned with our soul's purpose.
Absolutely. And remember, this journey of rebuilding, of redefining success, of reclaiming your life is a process. It's not a destination. It's a continual evolution. There'll be ups and downs, twists and turns, moments of doubt, and moments of incredible clarity.
Right.
But the key is to keep moving forward one step at a time with compassion, with courage, and a belief in your ability to create a life that truly lights you up.
And don't forget to celebrate those small wins along the way.
Yes.
Each step you take, every challenge you overcome, every act of self-care and self-love is a victory worth celebrating.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing those small wins and remembering that you're making progress even when it feels slow or challenging.
Well, this has been such an insightful conversation.
It has.
Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us today.
It's been a pleasure.
And to everyone listening out there, remember, you have the power to create a life that you truly love. Start today, take one small step, and never, ever give up on yourself.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
That's it for this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.